And we are reporting live here from Highland Park. We are doing our special 24 hours in Highland Park with our reporting partners at the Michigan Chronicle. Jeremy Allen has been my cohort all day long, reporting on some of the people, the places, the issues that are really important to this city. We've talked about some victories along the way. We've talked about some amazing people. We spent some time on Avalon Village. We drove about 4 minutes away. We're right off the Davison, and if you take a look behind us at this amazing building, this building has quite the story, don't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're here at Means Logistics Park. Means Logistics Park is wonderful. I mean, it's 10 acres, just under 450,000 square feet. And, you know, it's part of the commercial redevelopment that's happening here in the city of Highland Park.
And what I think is cool, this is on Hamilton, and like I said, if you don't know Highland Park, it's such a small city, really, but this is a big area that could be potential for jobs, which then would increase the tax base, which then could help the schools and the lights. And you spend a lot of time diving deep a little bit into the development.
Absolutely. Take a look. Jovon Burkes' impact in the city of Highland Park doesn't stop with the Reggie McKenzie Center. It goes well above and beyond that. In addition to involvement with the youth, he's also deep in the neighborhoods. He redevelops residential homes all across Highland Park. We're here outside of one of his homes right now, as he describes it, across the tracks in Highland Park. But I want to show you a little bit about what he does to impact the community, impact the neighborhood, in a way that goes well beyond sports. Jovon, with all of your residential rehab efforts, you know, taking some of these abandoned houses and redeveloping them, what are you really hoping to accomplish here for the city of Highland Park?
Honestly, you know, to encourage other people that's from here to come back and do the same thing. If we get 5 more people, 10 more people to come back and get 2 or 3 houses per block, you know, hopefully absorb some taxes, but also most importantly, you know, bring the community back. One thing, you know, coming from Highland Park, being an athlete, I always wanted to give back. You know, as we talked, we got the Reggie McKenzie Foundation. I was able to give back to the kids, something that Reggie McKenzie instilled in me, give back to my family. Then, you know, I asked myself, how can I give back to the community?
And that's kind of where we are here today, right?
100%. So you think about it, you know, Highland Park was one of the biggest, well, small as far as the size, but, you know, at one point in time, it was 58,000 people in Highland Park. So we had some of the, you know, the best businesses here. And the thing that I loved about growing up and seeing these homes was how big they were. You know, and despite the tough time, these houses had good bones. So, you know, what I did when I was in Chrysler was, you know, every year or every other year, you know, grew up without having money, so every other year I would buy a house, you know.
Right here in the city of Highland Park.
Right here in the city of Highland Park.
I know when we were walking up, you were kind of pointing out a couple this way, a couple this way.
Yes, I have a couple of, you know, houses on here on California, Massachusetts, Colorado, East St. Louis, and those blocks were the blocks where, as a kid, I walked down and wished I was able to afford or live in those big homes. So to be able to go back and come back home and purchase them and make them look good for the community, you know, was my aim and was always my goal.
And some of these houses actually do have dual purpose uses, right? They're not all just residential.
Exactly, 100%. So one thing is, you know, my company is called ACC Connection, Housing, Care, and Counseling. And one thing when I was younger, you know, my thing was people always gonna need somewhere to live, and they always gonna need somewhere to take care of. So, you know, I was fortunate enough to meet with the president, Joe Dewberry, for Abundant Recovery Services, which they do a phenomenal job throughout, you know, the state of Michigan. And recovery and giving people second chances is something that I believe in. Because my family was able to get second chances, and I see the outcome and the impact. So, you know, we're working on a big project to be able to, you know, come together while people are in recovery to have them in some very nice homes that they could imagine, you know, going in. So as they go in their transition, they can be in a comfortable place.
Talking to Jovon off camera, it was clear to see how passionate he is about the city of Highland Park. When I asked him what drives that passion, he said it was simple: a love for his community and a love for his neighbors. With the Michigan Chronicle, this is Jeremy Allen, Executive Editor.
What I love about that piece in terms of residential development is that there's hope, and you need hope to have a plan to bring results.
Absolutely.
And I think behind us, this symbolizes hope, right? This building right here?
It really does. One of the interesting things I mentioned earlier, this is the Means Logistics Park. It was originally named after Eric Means. Eric Means was the initial developer of it. His wife, after Eric's untimely passing, took over as the principal owner of the Means Group. And so she was able to deliver a heartfelt message just about what this project meant to her and to her late husband. And
take a listen.
Take a listen.
My husband, Eric Means, was a passionate advocate for Detroit and its surrounding cities. He cherished the city's rich history and had an unwavering belief in its future potential. His vision extended to the resurgence of Highland Park, where he saw immense opportunity to breathe new life into the community. He forged strong relationships with residents, always striving for a brighter future for those who called the city home. His goal was to bring an economic boost that would energize the city, and he approached every challenge with determination and resilience, motivated to see each project through to completion. Thanks to our partnership with Ashley Capital, we achieved that goal, and I know he is so proud of this accomplishment. This project was truly a labor of love, and his legacy will live on through those who continue to champion his vision for Highland Park and all those who love him.
I love that she was able to share her thoughts on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're here now with Kyle Morton of Ashley Capital. Ashley Capital took over the project in conjunction with Tracy Means, and they've been working together to bring the project to conclusion. Tell us about where you picked up after Eric left off.
Sure. It was a really challenging time. Eric unfortunately passed away during COVID in August of 2020. So starting in about October of 2020, we partnered with Tracy and effectively took over the day-to-day operations on this project. So we were in charge of securing it was about 300 individual parcels here. About half of that was publicly owned and some privately owned, and then went through the rezoning and street vacation process and ultimately building the building.
And it is a beautiful building. And we were talking about this with the mayor when we met her, earlier. We talk about hope and plans and dreams and jobs and what this can mean for Highland Park. What do you think? What do you think this can be? What are you hoping for?
I hope this is a catalyst for the Hamilton, the area here, right? This was about 30 acres of vacant property. About 30 dilapidated structures were here. And we're hoping this is several hundred jobs. And for the vacant lots next door, this is a stepping stone and another step for the future.
Kyle, this building is very uniquely situated. It's not solely in Highland Park. Tell us a little bit about that.
So about 34 acres, 28 of which are in the city of Highland Park, and 6 are in the city of Detroit. So we're right at the corner of the Lodge and the Davidson. So if you're coming by, you can definitely see the building. And it just created an extra level of entitlement challenge, right? We had to do rezonings and street vacations. We had to do it in Highland Park, and then we had to do it in Detroit again. So it was great to see the two cities, and specifically Wayne County helped a lot too in making this a reality and getting it approved.
And what sort of tenant are we looking for to fill this building and bring those jobs to Highland Park?
Yeah, I think we're really hoping the tenants in the kind of light manufacturing space, something that's in the green energy, renewable energy, electric vehicle space. So something that's high-paying wages, several hundred jobs in the space. So that's really the hope.
We would love to be reporting on that.
Oh,
That'd be good.
We hope.
Right. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring in our next big story. We did a little bit with the mayor about water, right? And we were talking a little bit about how residents and people are struggling sometimes with those water bills. So we're going to bring in Sontel Jenkins because we like to report about issues, but we also like to report on solutions, and you are with Thaw. And I know it gets complicated talking about the water situation in terms of where the bills were, what does it mean to residents. I know I talked to a lady, Kristen, this morning, Ferguson. She's a mom of 2, and her water bill jumped, and it's hard to pay the bill. So I wanted to bring you in a little bit to talk about what do we tell these residents and where are their resources to help them.
Well, there are certainly resources at Thaw, and residents can come to us, and we're also at the water department once a month, right after water bills go off. They can go out. We have a representative on site in Highland Park to help residents. And while the case of Highland Park and water was complicated, it's really simple. People need water, and they need to be able to afford it, so Thaw is providing resources.
What can people expect at these sort of information sessions that you guys provide Highland Park residents with every month?
We talk about a couple of things. One, how people can get assistance, how they qualify. So a family of one, about $45,000 you can still qualify, which is a lot more than most assistance programs. But we're also talking to people about how you save money, right? Shower aerators, which we give away for free. Wrapping pipes, fixing pipes and toilets, which we will start to do as well, providing repairs and doing things where households can save long term to reduce their costs.
Where do we see Highland Park and the residents in the water situation in terms of help and assistance and solutions in the next 5 years? And that's a big question. I get that. But that's what a lot of people are thinking is like, okay, can I afford to stay here? Can I afford to live? You know, what are some of your insights?
So we got involved in this project when we got a call from the state as they were negotiating the settlement. But the state plan is to upgrade the Highland Park water infrastructure, hopefully within the next 3 years. So if that stays on time, what we should see is a reduction in the cost of water for Highland Park residents as their infrastructure is improved. Hopefully also with Means Logistic Park and other developments in Highland Park, we'll see the residents start to see improvements citywide. That's my hope for the city of Highland Park.
We definitely hope so.
Yeah, and at the same time, that makes the city more attractive for upcoming residents, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And lastly, I know we're going to put a lot of the information on clickondetroit.com and the Michigan Chronicle's website because we want to provide those links for folks to get, because you said it is easy. Is there any other advice or any other tips that you can tell residents who are looking in their mind, what am I supposed to do?
Absolutely. Go to thawfund.org or call 1-800-866-THAW, and we can help you.
We appreciate that. We know it's a long day. We appreciate you coming out here because this is important to share this information with our viewers.
Thank you.
And our readers. Yes, thank you. All right, we are going to, I guess, wrap up this one section of our live reports. That's at 7 o'clock here tonight. We're coming up at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk. I'm going to talk about this new business owner that I think I told you about, Kristen Ferguson.
Yes.
The mom of two. She opened up a business on Woodward, and it's kind of cool to see from the mom balancing act and also opening up a business because, you know, she's small. It's not this big conglomerate, but you know, we got to care about the small business owner trying to set up shop too.
Every little bit counts, and those you know, entrepreneurs are really the heart and soul of the city, and they really keep things going.
Yeah, most definitely. And I want to remind folks too about all of the great stories that you've been doing throughout the day. We've got them on our website, you've got them on your website, and if you've missed that, you can obviously see those links and get the information because that's what it's all about. So we're going to wrap up here, and we will be back in the 8 o'clock hour talking a little bit about small business owner development, and we might even hit a bonfire. You never know. So stick around to Local 4+. We are streaming live also on Avalon Village. You can check out those cameras and always stay updated on clickondetroit.com.